Hi, welcome back. So I thought maybe this would be a creative reading in place of the midweek reading, and I just really kind of felt like pulling some cards and reading from books and seeing what connections we can find since I tend to find inspiration in the connections, and that's what it's all about here. So hopefully this will uh, work for you and bring you perhaps some more clarity or insight into whatever it is you're wondering about. Let me see, I'll just a little further, closer. Um, or perhaps we'll bring further depth to the June readings, or maybe give a glimpse into July. I really have no agenda for this reading except just to have some fun pulling cards and talking about their meanings and see if there's anything else that would be helpful to pass along as far as inspiration or information goes. So some of this or all of it may apply to you, but just try to keep an open mind and stay open to the context as well. You can put it into whatever context you see fit or works for you, but everyone is going through different things at different times, so keep that in mind. This is general, and stay open-minded to the timing as well, as pace is also different for everyone, and this may clarify the past or give you some insight into the now or a glimpse into the future, but whatever is past, passing, coming to be, as what hasn't happened yet will probably seem unfamiliar. This may apply to you, but it just hasn't happened yet, so just take what works for you, and hope you can just have some fun with this and see what universe has to tell us for the end of June. And yeah, so maybe I'll just pull a Art of Life tarot card to begin with. Use your own logic, discernment, judgment, intuition when making decisions. Hopefully this will be a spark for you. Like I said, maybe bring you further clarity or point you in a new direction or just bring you a brand new idea as a jumping off point. So let's see what connections we can find, what kind of magic we can make, what ideas are to be discovered. Because the value of ideas is the whole point. Valuing ideas as the jumping off point for any great endeavor or artistic project. Ace of Wands. This is The Ancient of Days, detailed by William Blake, 18th century. I should have brought my William Blake book up here. 18th century private collection. It says, whatever you can do, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. Jonathan Wolfgang von Goethe. So, I think this painting is actually what I was thinking of. I'm reading a really long time ago, so it's really not important. This is what I was trying to reference, the Ancient of Days. So, anyways, the Ace of Wands, though, basically sums that up. It's a green light, it's a new beginning, it's a brand new idea, a brand new start. It's go ahead. So I guess if you're wondering anything specific right now, this would be your go ahead. It's all about brand new growth and starting something that has a lot of excitement, speaks to you. It's something that maybe you've been wanting to do for a while, or just maybe haven't gone around to it. Is there something like that for you? Something else that you could incorporate into whatever it is you're working on, or someone you've been meaning to call or talk to that would help maybe bring some clarity to whatever it is you're wondering about. Whatever it is, it's saying to go ahead and do that. He's doing, it looks like a compass or something like that. Just coming out of the it's almost like it was a black screen and there was a little slit that was made and peeled open, and all this light was coming from behind, and now there's an entrance, kind of like a gateway into this reality to bring some new messages or something. But anyways, it's fire too, so that is your ideas, your beliefs, your inspiration, your passion, creativity. It's some sort of brand new, fiery, energetic idea probably, or start with something. The Knight of Wands is on the bottom. The real voyage of discovery lies not in finding new landscapes, but in having new eyes. Marcel Proust. This is The Marine by Edward Villard, 1906. Wow, someone just commented on my YouTube, "You should be shot." It's nice. I don't know what that is for or what it's pertaining to, but don't you love it when people feel like their opinion is like really that important? I don't know you. Usually, especially if the liking or the disliking, it's anonymous, so it's like you really felt like you had to make sure to go into someone else's space and who's just trying to help and taking time out of their schedule. I mean, I feel this way about everyone that I see gets like dislikes or whatever, but like I just think it's so dumb. Like it's especially when it's anonymous. It's like no one's forcing you to be here. You didn't have to watch it. If you did watch it and it didn't speak to you, like, why do you think your opinion's that important that it would, you have to make sure that someone knows it, that you know that, like, someone out there didn't like what you did, when it's not like I'm getting paid for this, you know what I mean? Like, you're welcome. Anyways, this is the Knight of Wands. I really like this painting, actually, just the colors, and just makes me want to go to the beach. Reminds me of a painting I actually painted. It's like the sand dunes and like Indiana Dunes or something, and sailing and just like a summer getaway. Going by the beach. I wanted to go by the beach today, but it's raining all day. So all the colors in the sand make me think of like finding beach glass or just really colorful stones, and like maybe a stone beach even, which is what we have here in Chicago actually. On one side it's a sand beach, on the other side it's a stone beach, and there's all these like caves that go like right off of Lake Michigan. It's really pretty. I used to climb around there and like find glass or sea glass, and had a collection. So maybe you could do something with sea glass, or just use that as the inspiration colorway or something. I almost want to say like instead of beading, like little sea glass somehow attached to a garment or something, like kind of irregular shapes, maybe very small, but instead of beading or trim or something like that, maybe even just like on a bag or whatever would work, but maybe pretty and colorful, but yeah, they're still like a little bit, subtle color, a little bit dull, so it kind of, I don't know, I like those colors, so pretty. And the Knight of Wands is, could be you, it could be someone you know, it could just be the energy, fire energy of Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries. I usually associate wands with the mutable sign, or the knights with mutable signs, so that would be Sagittarius. So maybe you know Sagittarius, or that's just the energy you're kind of embodying, those characteristics, especially with like wands and being your beliefs, and Sagittarius being like ninth house ruled, with talks about all your beliefs and higher education and higher learning, and opening your mind to things like that, and so maybe just expanding on whatever it is you're thinking about doing or embarking on, expanding the potential, the possibility of not letting there be any like limits to it, knowing that like things can keep evolving, keep developing, just expand what's possible. See if you can extrapolate on if you have like a certain thing in mind. See, like even just as an exercise, like just extrapolate on that concept, that theme, those words, that idea. Maybe write it down. Maybe make a list of like all the different versions or things you can think of that have to do with whatever it is you're wondering about, to just kind of get the wheels in motion and see what else can come out of that, just expand on the idea. It could also mean traveling, since nights are mutable and they're always usually traveling or bringing that energy to you, or you're bringing that towards someone else. So maybe you're bringing some fiery creative inspiration to someone, or you're receiving some, hopefully now, or you're traveling, maybe to the beach. But also, I want to say like, I don't know, maybe we'll keep going, but nights, energy. I mean, the Knight of Wands can be a little bit impulsive, a little bit like rushes in to do something that they're really excited about. Maybe without thinking it all the way through, just so excited, so positive about it that they haven't really questioned what could be wrong about it, or what, might not work with that idea, or what others might think, because it's so good in their minds that, that's it, like, let's go for it. So maybe just trying to take a slower approach if you feel like that's what you need to do. But if it's like, Ace of Wands is a very much like action doing, sort of like go for it energy, and so is the Knight of Wands. So if you've been stalling and feeling like you need to like move things along a little bit, it's saying to get on with it and maybe hurry a little bit. Knight of Cups wanted that. I'll pull one more card from this deck. I haven't used it in a while. Let's see. It's the Six of Wands and the Fool. It's interesting how they came out. It's like all the way across the room, and I don't really want to like disrupt my little setup here. But Six of Wands, it's a painting of an old football game, turn of the century, and the Fool. It's interesting how they came out just opposite of each other. So. Like, don't be foolish, don't rush in if you feel like you are rushing, or on the flip side, because it's general, looking at things both ways, it could mean, again, taking a risk, taking a leap of faith, jumping into something that you've maybe been wanting to do and just been like procrastinating or stalling, or just wondering if it's something that's really worth your attention, time, making time for it. The Fool is all about new beginnings and just starting over and starting fresh and jumping into something with trust and faith that things are going to sort of miraculously appear if you need them, that, path in front of you is the path that you're supposed to be on, kind of thing, and seeing where you can start with something. Start over maybe, start fresh, but really just take a risk, jump in, go for it. And the Six of Wands is maybe you're wondering if you'll be successful. The Six of Wands is pretty much saying like it can go either way. It's about halfway through. It usually means some sort of victory. Again, Wands, a lot of fiery energy and just sort of jumping head first into something. Six of Wands is feeling like you're being supported or cheered on, and like you're on your way to success, on your way to victory, that maybe people are in your corner and these kinds of things, like some sort of maybe small victory that kind of keeps you going, pushes you further into the direction that you're already going. I feel like it's saying, like, take a risk. You will have some maybe, I don't want to say immediate, but like success, like maybe medium amount of success, you know what I mean? Like, just, you'll see some sort of like benefit or some sort of like return, I want to say, like on your time that you put into whatever it is you're starting, sooner rather than later. But it doesn't necessarily mean that you will be like long-term successful. It's saying that, like, because tarot cards don't really usually predict like that far in advance, so it's kind of like, this is what you can be expected, but you know, you still have to keep going. You still have to like keep developing that idea, keep working well with others. It could mean like moving also. The Fool's travel, night travel. Six of Wands, usually they're like on some sort of caravan, like, you know, riding on some horses and, you know, coming back from like the battle, but the war is not over kind of idea. So whatever that means to you, yeah. The Empress is on the bottom. So again, that's creativity, that's love, that's just really putting your heart into something that you love. I feel like every creative project is, especially if you're really, really invested in it and, you know, stemming from some sort of, you know, experience or personal insight, personal experience, personal train of thought. Six of Wands, like train of thought, sometimes I think of too. You know, that's so unique to you that just kind of speaks what you're about in some way, in some capacity, or what you know, just shows your unique individual, I don't know what I'm trying to say exactly, but it's knowing that it's going to be good because it was so impactful to you, maybe even just in like the coming up with the idea or the experience that you're drawing from, that if you fully develop it, it could turn into something quite beautiful, quite all-encompassing, just very, I mean, Venus, ruler of beauty, love, art, romance, play, all the good things. So maybe just taking some time too to just maybe think things out in your mind first. She rules over Libra and Taurus, or Venus does. She's associated with Venus, so. So it could also mean like some sort of like, it could be someone in your life, it could be you, someone who embodies that sort of creative, lovely, graceful, kind of want to say, like energy. Just comes up with unique, creative solutions, things to help you. She can be very nurturing, all about like style and aesthetic and design and fashion sometimes, like, I want to say even like model, you know, Aphrodite type. Just someone who is really, you know, exudes that sort of creative passion, that sort of creative flow, just sort of exudes out of them, and others pick up on it. And so maybe this is how you are coming across. It could also mean someone like higher up at work, you know, someone who's in charge, maybe in the creative industry. I just feel like she's listening, hearing something, maybe just admiring like scenery. But that is only passions, great passions, can elevate the soul to great things. Dennis Diderot, and this is St. Catherine of Alexandria by Raphael, 1508, National Gallery, London, UK. It's come up a few times. Yeah, only passions, great passions, elevating the soul. And when I think true art comes from the soul, at least impactful art comes from the soul. So elevating the soul to great things from the passion that, you know, infiltrates your life through experiences, through people, through encounters, through ideas and inspirations. So how can you create how can you take what you already have to work with and get even more excited about it? What made you excited about it in the first place? Can you expand and extrapolate on that? Empress, though, is a great card. It's just saying that you are really, you know, making some good strides, I think. Let's see, let's pull some. It's the moon. Empress, the moon, a lot of feminine energy. It's like really tapping into your intuitive side, you know, just letting that sort of guide whatever you feel instinctually guided towards or pulled into, or whatever's drawing your attention, paying attention to that. Maybe starting over if you need to, but this is illuminating things. It could be shadowing over things, but I tend to look at it more as like illumination in the dark. So illuminating your path as you go. I also think of like never ending story, which is kind of, you haven't noticed, a lot of what's been going on here is similar to that movie. It's a little bit meta in a way, as I work in a lot of my own personal experiences and stories, memories, associations, as a means to do these readings and to make connections that potentially tell the future or give insights. But so, and then the music videos and the cards and imagery kind of act as the visuals for that on top of these tarot readings. So I don't know, maybe watching a movie that you loved to watch growing up, or maybe haven't even thought about in a long time, maybe just browsing like the 80s, 70s selection of movies on Netflix and seeing what random inspirations you can find through childhood favorites. Because the moon also can talk about your mom, just motherly, like nurturing energy. And I think, the Empress here, it's very much about like Mother Nature. Maybe also like meeting halfway with something, seeing the opposite in whatever it is you're working on, letting that be a starting point. Also think of eclipses. I think there's one, I don't know, I don't remember all of that, but solar lunar eclipse. I do remember that the last one was like, or not the last one, the only one I remember was on September 1st. Maybe seeing something being blocked out, or the light being blocked out. Maybe you're just feeling like you're in the dark with something and not sure how to proceed. You just need a little switch, you just need to turn something on. Maybe you're the only one who can find that switch, and it just involves you bringing in some new inspiration, some new text, some new imagery, maybe getting lost in the library for a day. Just want to say like pixels of light or something coming out of that sun, howling to the moon. As a way, connection also through sound, alerting others maybe. I don't know. It's 18. Just 9, so potentially the end of a cycle, beginning of a new one. The moon rules over Cancer, but it could be another water sign, Scorpio, Pisces, that sort of watery, intuitive feeling, sensitive energy that helps you navigate when you don't have all the facts or all the information. Oops, I picked up the King of Swords. Let's see. Oops. It's weird, I had some of the Thoth deck mixed in by accident. Queen of Cups, Queen of Wands. I don't know if this pertains to the reading. Sometimes I just pick up cards and it kind of narrates what's going on here, and since I wasn't shuffling, I feel like that might be what's happening since water and fire sign here. And then the opposite was Prince of Discs or Earth. Another like movement, Knights, Virgo, maybe. This is the Princess of Wands. This is the airy part of fire. This is the, oops, I did it again, Britney Spears video representation. Or vice versa, So, Hermit, looking further, looking deeper into something, looking inward, really looking inward for the answers. Taking it one step at a time, searching for some sort of truth or understanding. I think overall, like everything that I've been doing here is really to promote an understanding. It's not about the videos so much. It's not about, it's just everyone getting to a certain understanding, that helps everyone move forward. Again, 9 and 7 of discs. So maybe Taurus or Saturn Taurus. This always looks like a peacock to me. Peacock feathers, just very dense, like almost like a forest of feathers. Palm trees. Things hidden in the leaves. I don't know if that was supposed to come out. I'll pull some more from this deck before. Let's see. Further clarity on the moon. So again, it could have something to do with like your mom, or maybe your mom's side of the family, or going back to the start with something. So 9 of Pentacles, 9 of Discs. It's just enjoying your environment. I feel like feeling good with what you have, like accumulated, what your estate, where you live, what the whole lifestyle kind of things. I think of lifestyle with this card usually, or just being very like, sometimes aloof, or just kind of no cares in the world kind of thing, very feminine, very like graceful kind of energy. Just enjoying your environment again. I just always notice the grapes here, just I think growth and but again, another 9. Just a ton of like feminine, I mean the Empress, the Moon, and the 9 of Pentacles, discs. And since this is general, the Empress could be for a guy too, or Knight of Wands can apply to guy or girl, just keep open-minded about that. Let's see, what else would be helpful to know? Judgment. So judgment, I mean, this is like an epiphany, some sort of wake-up call, some sort of clarity, a sign that you see in the sky, something that just speaks to you. It's personal, maybe makes you feel rejuvenated or rejuvenates your interest in something. Number 20, so reduced down to 2. Have to do with a choice or some sort of balance or partnership, but sometimes I just think of it as hearing the music, hearing some sort of clue, sign, inspiration that's really maybe profound. It could also mean going to the hospital just because the cross there. Whenever I see that, and whenever I see it, I think of this card, and it's in the Fuji's video. You can find that, and also the Born's video, number 11, stage 11, and on the floor, on the ground. And if you haven't noticed, and this is an Odyssey playlist that I'm speaking about, your music video representations of these cards, Major Arcana and Minor Arcana. And if you haven't noticed, a lot of people are wearing Converse in a lot of videos. I don't know, just little connections, little things like that that are fun to pick up on. Maybe it's meaning for us to converse more. It's feeling brought back to life too, maybe bringing something back to life, bringing a project, an old idea back to life, hearing the music, maybe playing some music, gets you inspired, gets the inspiration juices flowing, maybe just looking up, and seeing bigger picture in some way, shape, or form. I just feel like music, though, right now. Just like hanging out, listening to music. I think of music with the moon, though, too, just because of, the moon and the tides and rhythm and cycles and just, rhythm, basically. It's actually said that anyone with moon in Taurus has really good rhythm. A lot of drummers are moon and Taurus people. Random fact. Or this could be 2 9s. What's the significance of judgment? Maybe you're feeling like under pressure, judged a little bit, or maybe you're being judgmental. Maybe there's some sort of barrier or something like that, like some sort of line. She's even standing in front of like a hedge. I think of like some sort of blockade or barrier or, just fence or something like that. Their line here, and I don't know, maybe you're crossing a line, or maybe, I don't know, getting over the fence, like maybe you've been on the fence for a while with something, and you've just sort of needed a little wake-up call or a sign or a push or a clue or something to get you over the fence. Maybe seeing things from a different perspective, or just moving along with something, moving on your way, but whenever I see this card now, I think of the OA. Since this is also not just called judgment or epiphany, wake up, it's the angel. So maybe you're just feeling at home with someone in your environment. It's the moon, since it rules over Cancer, Cancer being the 4th house of home. Just very nurturing environment. You're just feeling at home, feeling at ease, relaxed. Again, maybe just listening to some music would help. Your attention. Ace of Discs. So again, like some brand new start, or some tidbit, nugget of advice, or a good opportunity, or it could be a small payout too, like a bonus. Or maybe you work in a restaurant and getting a good tip or something like that. But again, sometimes it can just be a piece of advice. Making sure you don't get like a ticket or something like that, because both ways. But usually I try to see things as an opportunity, and, for potential growth, newness, freshness to come in. This is like a golden ticket, golden opportunity, something that you don't want to miss out on, something that maybe you've been waiting on. Perfect timing, maybe just been waiting for it to get paid so that you can go wherever, go to the beach or something. Maybe it's a new job or a promotion or something like that. But really it's something that affects your tangible environment, your life, your reality. Whereas swords and air, thoughts, emotions, cups, and fire, wands, your beliefs, your emotions, your thoughts, that's everything else. It's a little bit more abstract, and the earth signs talk about earth, your reality, your life. So this is some sort of brand new start in your life. Maybe that's what you're looking for. The Hermit did come up in that other deck. Maybe you're hoping to get to this point with something. You're at the beginning and you're just hoping that it leads to this, where you feel like comfortable and good with where things are at. You just relax. You're just hoping to get to the end of the week. So you're getting paid at the end of the week or something, but really some just sort of welcome to reality, sort of maybe wake up call kind of thing, So brand new start. Let's see. Let's pull some from the Thoth deck, and I'll just put these back in. So all these like kind of drapey clothes and just sort of, again, comfortable, maybe leisure, luxury, leisure. Universe just popped out. I'm not sure how it landed, but this is the equivalent to the World card for those that don't know tarot or this deck. So this is the universe. She has some sort of python or snake that she's dancing with. In her own little, I want to say time chasm bubble. I almost want to feel, I feel like she is, her dance is like creating each passing second or minute. As she moves, time moves. As she dances, time is created around her, if that makes sense. These are also the fixed signs. So Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. Maybe you're one of those signs. I also feel like stardust just sort of radiates out from this dance too. Like Tinkerbell or something. She moves. It's just like grace and infinity, and feeling like you want to, Fool did fall out over there, so that's one huge cycle, one big completion of something. One beginning of something, the end of something, continuity. Maybe you need to find more continuity in what you're doing, reassess. Maybe it just needs to be more of a better flow or something like that. She just looks like she's having her own little party. I just thought of Nico's All Tomorrow's Parties. It's kind of a sad song, but I don't know, she is alone, so maybe she's sad. I don't know. 21 though, and that reduces down to 3. So again, like the Empress, or just creation, love, brand new beginning in your world, a brand new start within your world. This could also speak to pregnancy, so maybe finding out like you're pregnant or something like that. Hearing a wake-up call, 9 months, mother type energy. But she always looks like she just has like some sort of 60s updo, like huge hair kind of thing, Okay, you see that? Some sort of bouffant. I just thought of like, higher the hair, the closer to God, saying in Texas, which is where I went to school. And yeah, there's definitely people that have a lot of hair. Texas is its own country. It really is. It's so fun to go visit Marfa, Texas for the arts, and down south for San Antonio, which is really beautiful. Maybe you're looking to travel and you could check out like Austin or Dallas or something like that. Yeah, it's just fun. There's a million like weird bars and shops and things to go into, and everyone's like very polite, nice, and southern, hospitality kind of thing. It makes me think of, I studied design. My focus was on design, but I also minored in marketing, and within all of that, it was part of family and consumer sciences. So the consumer sciences part was very interesting to me, and I think especially like the advertising that you can see in the Odyssey and all the music videos, and I don't know, that's interesting to me, just on a psychological level. But yeah, there was definitely, when I think of Texas and that family consumer sciences, I had to take all these family science classes as well, like how to plan your budget for your family. I was so disinterested. I mean, I was like just trying to move to New York and like work in fashion, and I was like, people were taking rigorous notes, all these girls that like were, you call them the MRS degrees, they're just to, get married, basically, a very Texan kind of joke thing. Yeah, but it's a different lifestyle down there. I just want to say Neiman Marcus too. Anyways, so again, art, creativity, things that you can like, clothing that you can move in, sportswear, leisure wear, dance wear. It always looks like some sort of turn-century contraption thing too, machinery. So again, she's like twirling it and kind of making things, the gears move, I feel like. Is there something you can do to get the gears in motion? That was the point of those active meditation plays. Just to get the gears in motion, to focus, and to, almost like a distraction, especially if you're very ADD and distractible. It's hard to just meditate sometimes. Just, totally clear your mind, and you can put on songs and things like that that, again, influence your mood and inspire you maybe, and let that sort of distract your mind as you focus on the moving colors in these plays, and as your brain begins to recognize the patterns and just gets comfortable with those patterns and the movement, the rhythm, you kind of just let your mind flow and your thoughts come and go, and there's that space, you're not distracted by the other things going on around you. This is the Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Discs, Queen of Earth. So another Earth sign, Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn. I tend to think of her as Taurus, though. Very grounded, very like reliable. I want to say, like very sensual, very like in touch with their physical reality, very physicality, almost like nature, just in tune with what's going on around them, their environment, just very, whatever this means to you. But yeah, she's, could be you, could be someone you know, but maybe just, again, focus. She's focusing on that coin. It always says, like, don't get too focused, be present. But I think this flew out because I was talking about focusing so that you can be present. Leave it out. The Knight of Wands is on the bottom again, so it's really important. Again, you can see, like, it's kind of explosion of energy, fire rushing into something, traveling long distance, travel. Maybe that's important. Let's see what else. Magician, another major arcana. This reminds me of the Romance Angel cards because there's one with chemistry, and they're like have this glowing thing between their two hands, and I do reference a magician whenever that card comes up. So it's about creating energy, friction, something that brings in energy, something that illuminates, I want to say too, just turning on that switch, He is working with all his different elements, his emotions, his reality, things, the resources that he has to work with, his thoughts, his creativity, connecting it all in that infinity loop, again, like the universe. He's wearing antlers, makes me think of some sort of lodge, Two burning candles, light and dark. I mean, it's above and below. So as above, so below, as below, so above, kind of the repetition, as you're thinking about it, that's what you should go with, So what's the first thing that pops in your head? Some sort of, I just want to say Bambi. Yeah, it's using all your resources, using your mind. Talks about Gemini too, a little bit. Speech, communication, using your mind to create magic, using your mind to illuminate something, using all your mental prowess, to create something new that is, I just don't keep wanting to say magic, that is interesting, that is reversing you, a little bit tricky, that kind of person, someone who's good with their mind, with their hands, magic, kind of thing. You can imagine that someone like that could be also like tricky and a little bit manipulative and jokester, but either way, I feel like he's kind of a jokester, a little bit dry sense of humor, likes to create, likes to work with what he has, his tools. It's number one in the major arcana, so this is using your agency, your mind, everything coming from your mind, everything beginning with a thought, with an idea. Hence the value of ideas, to really value ideas, understand how important they are. So, people don't really take advantage of that because they're the jumping off point for every invention, movement, artistic endeavor, progress, anything. So to pay attention to your ideas, to develop them further, to value them, and all the thought and things that go into them. Let that just kind of take you on a train, see where you end up. Stars on the bottom. So again, this is kind of like a wish card, your wishes being granted, or receiving some kind of inspiration, some help maybe from those around you, or someone that you look up to, or maybe your higher self, or your universe. I always think of Pleiades star system, or just some sort of alternate dimension, or something, someone who is just inspirational. They know how to balance and nurture the senses, and when they're creating, they cover all their bases in that sense. Things that whatever they're making, whatever the product is, it affects all the senses in a positive way. It also nurtures the intuition, the spirit, the emotional side of things. So this could be either giving out inspiration or receiving inspiration. I always think of a punch bowl party or something. This maybe a bartender or a mixologist or something like that. This could just mean what you're hoping for, what you're looking forward to. Maybe you're looking forward to just going out this weekend, getting away, getting into nature. I always think of the Swiss Alps or something. Ornaments, or just quiet and serenity, and she's just enjoying pouring out inspiration water. It's very graceful, very intuitive, very connected. I think, you know, the magician also talks about that. You know, it's like usually he's pointing one hand up and one hand down. It's as above, so below. It's a direct connection, link to the higher realms, to the other realms, to God, Source, to just very connected, very direct communication, very clear understanding of what goes on in the cosmos, what goes on in the mind, and how it affects the reality that we live in. I feel like she's somewhat like that, very connected to universe, and so whatever inspiration you're receiving from her, if this is you, you can be assured that it's very, like I want to keep wanting to say profound or inspired inspiration, divine inspiration, guidance, help. It could also just mean that whatever you've been wishing for, that's on the horizon, things coming through for you. Maybe you just feel like you're a star and you're just like shining. You're like, you know, you're really being heard. You're really being listened to. People are appreciating your whatever it is that you're giving out. Because it doesn't have to just be inspiration. It can be, you know, wisdom, advice, help. Could just be talking about connecting to spirit for that very purpose. Or an Aquarius, maybe another air sign. So again, tapping with Gemini, Aquarius. The only thing we haven't really gotten is Libra. So maybe the balance between Gemini and Aquarius and those different characteristics and traits, and that's something you could look into. But Aquarius talking a little bit about the future too, and just being open-minded and opening the box of perception, opening the door of perception, seeing beyond the four white walls, seeing beyond where you currently are, the space where your mind's at, just seeing further, seeing beyond, seeing what could potentially come to be, and yeah, again, just thinking outside the box. Usually someone who's pretty like trendy, I want to say, or like just stylish, or, you know, cool, calm, collected, and pretty social, again, with the bubbles, and just notice that the water flowing out in like, looks like a braid, and I mean, I know it's just supposed to be like, it's kind of cool, like braided water, not loops, braided water. Some sort of clear cellophane, like clear tubing or something like that, braided. I don't know. 17, reduces down to an 8. So again, it's getting your power back, feeling powerful, feeling in control, feeling maybe enlightened or inspired. Let's see. You'll pull one from the Minaret deck. So further clarity for those watching. To fire, Mars and Aries. So again, another fire card, another Wands card, about making some sort of choice or seeing ahead, wondering about the road ahead, choosing a direction, looking out for the world, looking over things, looking into the future, trying to picture and imagine which way to go, what it would do for you, what it would bring you. You could talk again about partnership, maybe 2 fire signs, but yeah, I kind of feel like it's just, again, looking further down the path into the future, wondering how things are going to end, how things are going to be summed up, completed, maybe looking for help or inspiration or just some guidance for that. But again, it's 2, so some sort of balance between 2 ideas, 2 belief systems, 2 people, 2 direction, just or choice. So maybe feeling very enthusiastic or even overly enthusiastic, maybe a little bit aggressive too. So making sure that you keep things in check. But Aries again, Aries the Ram. So you can see that in the Daft Punk video. Random access memories, Ram on the side, and it's the first. So I kind of mixed up some of the meanings and symbolisms and things for the major arcana in the first beginning, first of the beginning of the playlist. So that would make sense and work with the lack of 0. But yeah, so you can see the Ram, Aries, the first. It's very masculine energy. It's very taking charge, taking control. It's action, doing. So using all your resources, thinking outside the box. Maybe something having to do with like very feminine, nurturing, Mother Nature kind of energy. Maybe music, attention, focus, direction, a little bit of travel. I wish I would have brought my globe up here. I didn't even show you this. So this is, yeah, if it has to do with, I think they're making like some sort of 70s porno movie. I don't know. They are just kind of hanging out, you know, like, I don't know where they are. There's like little birds driving by. Maybe feeling like in the spotlight, or feeling like, I don't know what to say with this card. Just opening up, I don't know, maybe closing up, I don't know. So, this is Queen of Earth again, or Queen of Pentacles again, and this came up for the last reading, so maybe I'll shuffle again. This one says Capricorn, but really any Earth sign. Exploration, discovery, Mesoamericans, I want to say Peru or something. Ace of Water. So again, another Ace of Cups, basically. Brand new emotional start, or brand new inspiration, or something coming to you that affects you on an emotional level and inspired, sensitive, like it makes you feel something. Could be a kind gesture, could be some like a response, a good response from something. Could just be someone telling you that they love you. It could be a gift or something like that. But something that speaks to your emotions, something that makes you maybe like want to have some sort of fantastical journey. I don't know, some sort of pirate here. Looks like fantasy, but, and you know, inspiration, fantasy, cups, all of it kind of. Choosing something with your emotions, choosing something from the heart that you feel, that makes you feel something. What makes you feel something? If it doesn't make you feel something, don't go with that option. Go with the one that, you know, speaks to your emotions. This is the Death card, Scorpio. So again, speaking to your emotions, diving deeper. She's like dancing with death over here. Number 13. Reduced down to a 4. So again, it's stability. It's finding some sort of, again, coming back to life, maybe with something, maybe reviving something. Just thought of like the revivalists, reviving an old passion, an old idea, old inspiration, hobby, maybe just transformation. Usually I think of transformation with this card, primarily. Change, transformation, getting over something, moving forward. Or bringing something back to life, just something that changes things up. She's like an octopus here, and or I don't even know what she is. She has red shoes, and kind of looks like she's resisting kind of not like seduction. I want to say like. I mean, and Scorpio is a very seductive sign. It's very like, even the Death card, I mean, it's very much talking about, you know, love, sex, death, resurrection, all these like very kind of deep emotional kinds of things. So seduction, how can you add a level of seduction into whatever it is you're doing, you know? Makes you want it. Yeah, romance. I give a black and white movie when I see this card, or just like lost in dance. Maybe, I don't know. But I feel like it's almost like choosing life, a choice between two directions or something. And yeah, a choice, life, brand new inspiration, a brand new direction or something. And coming back to life, choosing something that brings life into your life, breathes new life into whatever it is you're working on, or brings you somewhere new, that just opens your eyes. And yeah, this just fell out. This is the Knight of Water. So a lot of knights. Queen Pentacles, Knight of Water. Pisces. He's just sort of, I don't know what he's doing here, but he's just like wading in the water in this like lily pond. He's gone off his horse, just by himself. He just looks kind of lost, like he's just coming around. Like, I don't know why he's there. But yeah, so Pisces, maybe again, the moon, and just like tapping into your psychic side and just telepathy, I want to say, and like connection and spirituality and all these things, and you're just feeling very like, again, going by the water. There's a lot of water, moon, Knight of Wands over there, and this card here, an Ace of lots of water. So just really feeling tapped into your sensitive side, your side that is, brings new life, new ideas into something. Maybe Monet, maybe something with time, again, seeing the changes in time, the effects, the light, gears, time, clocks, feeling time through water and the ripples of time, but like really, I don't know, is it more of a conscious like experiment or like exercise to like maybe stand in the water and feel the ripples going by you, understanding that it's, it's time passing or something. If that, I mean, maybe I just sound stoned, but I'm not. Yeah. So just looking at things from a different way, I think. Ripples in time, waves. Wondering, is that your wave to jump on? Is that something that really speaks to you? Are you going to let it go by? Are you going to dive in? Are you going to wait a little while longer? It's connection, though, and I think of like water, connection, conductivity, the movement of one thing to the next, and what propels it, what moves it forward, what amplifies it. Electricity, power plants, all these things. But yeah, the speed at which something moves along, moves ahead. Again, go back to time. But that also reminds me of like Valley of Ideas project. I mean, no one ever saw like how much thought it went into it. But I'm not a mathematician, but somehow one day all these like equations and things, ways of calculating time and ideas and overlaps and shifts in time start to come to me through like the way that you might measure water conductivity and velocity and things like that, which I know like nothing about. I probably studied that in like high school, so I don't know where these equations were coming from, because I pretty much count on my fingers, or I know fractions basically from pattern making. So it was just very weird, but really interesting to see how you could kind of relate the movement of water, conductivity, and electricity through ideas, and how an idea has the ability to amplify itself and others, and how it how it moves forward, moves things forward, and I don't know, ability for an idea to transcend markets, I want to say, or timelines, time periods, trends, and to get bigger and bigger and bigger. What is it? What is that like X factor? What is that thing? If you don't have it with what you're working on now, what is that X factor that you're missing for that idea to just amplify and create its own, steam, stamina, own propulsion, its own electricity, its own life? I feel like something that is good is always going to take on a life of its own, in a way, even if it comes from you, even if it's some sort of, just a project or something. Somehow, if it's good, it starts to take on a life of its own, and you just sort of work with it, like draping, working with the fabric, working with the medium, letting it take shape around the form, sort of guiding, letting new things appear, new shapes appear, not having some sort of end goal in mind, maybe, letting whatever happens happen, see what new possibilities there are, because, everything you're making is just, it's like, I was wanting to say pre-thought. You have that picture in your mind, and sometimes it's easy to get that tunnel vision, and then like you're not seeing any other possibilities, any other inspirations, anything that could help or just develop the idea further, and maybe just keeping it open-ended, seeing what you come across, seeing what happens, letting the medium, letting the fabric, letting the project take on its own life, its own direction, not being so in control, like, not needing to control everything, kind of having that trust in your work, trust in your process, trust in the materials, trust in your guidance and your inspiration, that something maybe even better than you ever imagined could come about from that that very beginning, that start. A lot of new starts. So let's pull a Winged Enchantment Oracle card. Crow. Swan was on the bottom. So I'll go with Crow. Stretch. Swan again. I think Swan came up for the Leo readings, so you could probably just go listen to that. Swan Lake. Again, dance. Dark and light. 7. Her earrings really stand out to me. They look kind of like they would go with the Universe card. Some sort of like little mechanical remote device that hangs from the ear that you just sort of boop, and then like the garage door opens. I don't know. So this says, let's see if you can see that. I am Crow, the walker of worlds. I am sacred law. I am the siren of merging realities. I am the all-pervading cosmos and signal your future catching up with you. I am the order of space and time. I am the fabric of the unwoven. It's so funny, I was talking about fabric and space-time. I am the soul's most lucid dream that signals your readiness to leap into the dark, like the Fool. You cannot run from your chosen path. You cannot deny cause and effect. I'm the universal mind that seeks connections. I urge you to support your intentions and see them through. Make the effort to manifest and stop ignoring the role of your own mind. Creation is a process, and the tangible always comes from nothing. You are shaping everything around you and orchestrating the unseen. Meld into the future and become what you have chosen. You are exploring the boundaries. I mentioned that too. You are finding the path. You are lucidity. You are crow. The path, the moon. You're finding the path. Finding your way in the dark. You're on your way. It's nice. Oh. It's funny. Stars on the bottom here. So, all these little diamonds down here, they remind me of all the diamonds that they're pointing out in the Wu-Tang Clan video. And also like a flashlight. So really directing your light onto something, one specific area, to amplify it, to focus on that maybe. Let's see. Pull a Romance Angel Oracle card. It's a little bit out of order. Maybe some romance, that would be helpful. Let's see, what people need to know. Love advice. Reconciliation. Someone from your past is returning to your life. Head in the clouds, or just some sort of very romantic cloud scene. I also think of The Boy That Could Fly. The last scene in that movie. Like Georgia Keefe. It's pastels and I don't know. She looks like, what's her name? That actress, I don't know. Reconciling, so from the very beginning, this is what I've always said, is that reconciliation doesn't necessarily mean like anytime you're reconciling things, you're reconciling differences, you're finding the common ground, but even things that are similar, that are parallel almost in nature, you still have to reconcile because they're still different. So again, it's always about finding that common ground where things overlap. That 0 point, like the Fool, when everything's being around you and eventually you see everything. And so it's remaining in that 0 point so you can see what's past, passing, coming to be. From a higher vantage point, maybe. Cotton candy. Be really cool, like set through the clouds, but not some sort of like cheesy clouds. Like you could really make some sort of atmospheric cloud shapes with like not dry ice, but like I don't know if you could do that. Floating clouds, like almost like balloons or something, clear balloons. I almost want to say like water balloons or something, but something that like kind of moves as with the wind, with space, time. Cloud formations, maybe taking inspiration from cloud formations. Actually, one time, and I wish someone was there, this was in my old apartment in Brooklyn, and I was out on my fire escape, and I saw clouds going by, but they were in the perfect shape of like a flat map, atlas of the world. So perfect, you could see almost every country, like it looked like it had been drawn. It was bizarre. No one else was around, like trying to find my camera, take a photo. It was really cool. Like you could see everything in such detail and outlines, especially, and it was a perfect replication of the world, of a map, except that there was this one, almost like a new continent that it looked like it came down from North Pole and it filled in that space between the United States, Canada, and like Europe. So there was like a bridge there, but everything else you could see perfectly as exact replicas of each country outline and everything. But then there's just this like extra bit of land that had moved. It looked like it had moved down into the Atlantic. So, I don't know. I didn't catch it on my phone. Or I did, but it wasn't very good. And yeah. Soulmate. Yes, this is your soulmate. So, whether it's a person or something that you're meant to do, project or something, you know, it's meant for you. It speaks to your soul. They speak to your soul. Speak to the deepest parts of you, you know. It's very tender, I'm going to say. Tender, loving care. Let's see. Maybe, I can't decide right now. Maybe I'll kind of, these are really long explanations, but I like some of the imagery. This is the Rumi Oracle deck. Maybe I'll just pull a card and see if there's, that came fast. Sacred Convergence, number 11. It's a gateway, Sacred Convergence. I don't know what this is. I can't really tell. It looks like going in a cave or something with like lots of streamers, paint streamers. See if there's any, the explanations, like I said, are really long, so maybe we can just read like the opening little poem thing that I give. Kind of looks like the Ace of Wands. They could go together. Ancient of Days. So this says, roaming about town, the master was holding a light, saying, I am weary of the demons and the beasts. A human is what I am longing for. The human cannot be found. We have searched. What cannot be found is what I am longing for. Although poor and needy, I will not accept small pieces of ruby. The mine of the finest rubies is what I am longing for. One hand holding a cup of wine, and the other the curls of the beloved. A dance like this in the middle of a circle is what I'm longing for. Like that. Everything kind of is dancing around you, coming full circle. You feel like you're, I don't know. These are kind of intense, and they're very spiritual cards, so I'll just read this little bit here and then move on. How I have longed for you, my very own. Look no further, for the family beyond your family, the relationship beyond all other relationships, the great love that unveils all other loves to be mere reflections of the one great and true love is here for you now. It is I who have sought you through the stirrings of my own heart, or of your own heart. Yes, 'twas I, hidden beneath every secret, yearning for something more, something full, something special, something all-encompassing. Behind every yearning always I have hidden. Now I show myself to you, that you may become so filled with the same passionate devotion that I hold for you, that your mind will fall away, overwhelmed by the sheer intensity of love, tossed into an ocean of silent, unending bliss. Come to me, we are to be one now in sacred convergence of silent, eternal passion. So, yeah, intense. But, yeah, it's nice. What's hidden from you, you know? You've been hiding from something, telling yourself it's hidden or it's not ready or something, and you just need to let it out there. Unending bliss. Eternal passion, relationship beyond all of the relationships, something special, all-encompassing. So what is that for you? Getting to the heart or the essence of something, burning things away to get to the core. Yeah. So, maybe I'll read. One more from the Oracle Visions. I haven't used this in a while, so let's see. Okay. That was that like weird wolf card. I'll just maybe to sum up this reading, I feel like it's just saying to get started on it. 39. It's a dove card. Offering comfort, healing, caring. In the arms of an angel, fly away from here. This is a Sarah McLachlan song. For a broken wing or a broken spirit, the healing process begins with the bond of caring and comfort. Let a kind word, like the Ace of Cups, kind word or gentle touch offer assurance that you are there and the other is not alone. The pure white dove is held in a nurturing manner by a caring woman dressed in deep, vibrant red. The red of her clothing and headdress bring to mind the color of the first chakra, Muladhara, the chakra associated with self-preservation. So again, that same, same colors, very intense. This is a card about caring. Whether you have a need to nurture your own soul with some quiet time or recreation, or there's someone who needs your help, this card shows that by doing everything you can to be well-grounded, you can be a nurturing spirit. Hold the object of your ministrations lightly in your hand, lest, like a frightened bird, they fly beyond your power to heal. So again, like not being too controlling with whatever it is you're doing or working on, or, to let things naturally come about. To care for, grounded approach. I think I said that with Queen of Pentacles, taking a grounded approach, some leisure, recreation. And first chakra, self-preservation. So taking care of yourself first, loving yourself first before, so that you can give from a full plate. Feathers and beads, and I think of light bright. I did pull 3 runes before I started this reading. I wonder if they will work with it. A little experiment. This is Gebo. It means a gift. Or some sort of like, it's 2 crossing, can mean like marriage, 2 things coming together, a gift of something. I'll put links for these below. So I'm not as well versed in runes, but I think this is Jera. This is, your little cup here being returned. Usually I think it means 1 year, so like harvest time too. So planting good seeds now. Again, some sort of gift, maybe like the Ace of Pentacles, the Ace of Wands, a brand new idea that gets things in motion, gets things started, that will have a good return within a year. And this is, I forget the exact name of it, but it always looks like a peace sign to me. But I think this also means like having a direct connection, link, God to above, because it looks like telephone wires, pole kind of thing. Being communication, connection that way. So yeah, I'll have to find the links for that. There's really interesting. I always find that there's a ton more connections, especially with the runes. So maybe look at those. Make sure, again, if you have time, to check out the links that I put below for further clues, signs, depth, information, inspiration, songs, lyrics, things like that that could point you in any direction, or just be visual metaphors for all these cards and messages and connections. So, okay, I thought I'd pull up to some pages of music, get some songs going. Let's see, what do people need to know? What people are playing. Music for Zen meditations and other joys. Tony Scott. Yep. And it's on the album Find Your Center. That's too funny. So a lot of meditation, a lot of retreating, a lot of taking time, leisure time. That's funny. I did mention bliss before. 10 ballads in a row equals pure bliss. Falling in Love is Wonderful by Jimmy Scott. Released in 1962. How Deep is the Ocean? Yeah, so it's not all one. It's a track. Tony Scott. Let's pull a few more. I feel like I flipped to the same pages. This is The Planets by Gustav Holst. Boston Symphony Orchestra, movie music without the movie. That's a little bit what we're doing here to the Odyssey music soundtracks. Got the traditional movie. Oops, just lost it. Oh well, find it. Pirates. Pearl. Janis Joplin. It makes me think of Take Another Piece of My Heart, which I feel like when, like we're talking about all these creative projects, endeavors, and for them to be truly authentic and, mean something, come from your experiences, from your soul, from your heart. So that being said, when people do without maybe thinking or knowing that it's that personal, take ideas or inspirations, cross a line in some way, it is kind of like people taking a little piece of your heart, as much as you want to assume that it's with good intention or just without, thought or just something, it is still personal. So, it is like that a little bit. Another little piece of my heart. So maybe being a little protective of your ideas. I mean, it just depends on you and how you see things, and I don't know. I think it's hard, especially like when you put a ton of time. I mean, it's a little different too. It's not like these readings or things I think of off the top of my head, or the imagery and things like that are meant to be sparks for you, so that in a way doesn't, people don't come to see what I'm doing and use those ideas, because I feel like it's pretty obvious when there's a difference between when I'm talking about something that I'm working on versus things and ideas potentially for you to use. Like with those active meditation plays, and then obviously, it can't not have been because they even used my exact words and ways of describing things that I had put years of my life of time into, and development, and even personal, experiences and skills that developed over the years. Just tons of thought and intention, and everything that led up to those active meditation plays, and everything that went into it, and all the development time, and how personal that was. And then to see that a creative agency in London basically took the idea and turned it into an art installation, basically quoting half of what I said, except to say that because mine is on a phone, it's meant to take with you, because it's not tangible in physical environment like an installation, that it wasn't art. I mean, they didn't name my thing specifically, but it's basically that what they're saying, which I just think it's beyond me that someone would come take someone's ideas and work, not just ideas, but fully thought out work that someone's developed over years of their life, and take that without, asking or getting them involved in the project they want to work on, and then to have the audacity to then say that what they've done is art and what they took the idea from is not. Maybe try coming up with your own art, because this is art. And for anyone who would say otherwise is just misinformed, doesn't have all the information, hasn't thought things through, or hasn't really thought outside the box. I think most important or progressive art probably was misjudged, or people weren't familiar with it. Even pop art, it speaks to everyone now, but when it first was on the scene, people didn't get it because it's unfamiliar. So, it's staying open-minded to new possibilities and not just dismissing things that your experiences up to now have told you otherwise are not art or something like that. So I don't know, that in itself was pretty disheartening. I mean, when someone takes time, years out of their life to try to contribute something that helps others and pulls together all their skill sets and does it in a way that uses all the resources that they have, to the, taking things to the furthest that they can take things, like I did, for then people just have no respect, I guess. No, you shouldn't call yourself a creative agency. You should call yourself a thievery corporation. It's beyond me to not have that kind of respect for people. And I talk a little bit about those plays and further theories and things like that in my little Stargate video. I also talked about a book that, a little children's book that I'm wanting to write, get published, hopefully, kind of based on this. This is a whole playlist called The Odyssey. I called it Tulips Odyssey, as, coming to Earth, traveling space. So that again, too, today I came across Harper's Bazaar, and I think I have it somewhere here. But again, you just never really know how to take things, because I do have a better understanding of what is me kind of just picking up on things that might be spoken about or talked about in the coming days, just by what's drawing my attention. It's not like I can read minds or something, but what's drawing my attention, and if it's kind of a one-off thing or just something that reminds me of something, it's something, a conscious note that you take, that's, picking up on what's going to happen next. But when things are, of your own train of thought, development over years, personal experiences, skills, techniques, development, time, research, all that's not something that is like a psychic type of thing. Because sometimes I feel like people can try to use that as an excuse, like, oh, well, you were just reading my mind. This is what I was doing all along. And you're like, really? Because, do you think I'm an idiot? Like, yeah. That's what I think of you now, but, but not everyone. It's always hard to know, because sometimes you think people are like, reaching out to you, but really it's just like you picking up on what they were going to, focus on the next day or something. So you just never really know what people's intentions are, or if you're just, being a little psychic, or there's coincidences and things like that, overlaps. And then there are very much so vindictive people that, for absolutely no reason, like, want to, I don't know. And sometimes it just comes down to business and people just don't care. They'll walk all over people. And it's a mixture of all of it. And it's hard to know. And you never want to, like, blame people or, assume anything without having all the facts. But when enough things happen, you start to, like, catch on. So it's confusing for me. I don't know if the same thing happens for others. Be interesting to know. If that kind of thing happens to you often, please let me know, comment, reach out. But yeah, I did see something that I think it was here. I've seen it as a support. Basically living my dream. See if I can find it. Yeah. It also reminds me of the Lens series and one of the illustrations I did above the moon too, but Gigi's Space Odyssey. I mean, it's my dream to like go to space. NASA, in another life I would have been an astronaut, but yeah. I mean, it's just kind of like, oh, I was going to call it Tulip's Odyssey and this whole Odyssey playlist, and it's the name of this narrative, this movie, and I mean, she looks gorgeous in this cool photo shoot. But it is confusing, and it is like a bit disappointing because before you even have a chance to put that out there, get it published or something like that. It's already called, already taken or something. Even though I don't know, I've been working on this for months and months and months. Yeah, it's just kind of like you feel like a little bit undermined in a way because, well, what's the point now? No one's going to believe you that you had the idea first. Everyone's going to think that you're copying Harper's Bazaar with your title, with your, the whole concept. I don't know. I mean, it's not like a huge deal. This is just an editorial spread, but it still like gets to you because it's confusing, and you're like, well, I guess I don't know. Yeah, it's like I don't know why people. I'm not saying them. I'm not saying It's just at the end of the day, you just never really know unless things are confirmed. But yeah, it's just a little bit disheartening. It feels like people take a little piece of your heart every time, and yet you still put things out there because that's what you do as an artist, and you want to share what you're working on. I mean, why hoard it for yourself? If you have some skills and you're creating something, you put it out in the world. So yeah, it's just kind of like, where is the line, and why don't people seem to respect that? Like, like why don't they? I mean, again, it could be like a compliment. It could be a total coincidence. Who knows? But it's just like these kinds of things happen to me all the time with everything I'm working on, with all my, and it just gets to you after a while because it's confusing. You just want people to respect the things that you're working on, and if you like that idea, then great. Can you, give credit for liking that idea? Like, it just doesn't even, it makes sense to me. Like, why wouldn't you, why not, again, lift people up in that sense? Like, someone who is just starting out and isn't established, and so it's easy to, like, kind of walk all over them. To take their ideas and, I guess it just kind of like when something becomes normal, it's in a magazine or something, like, and the idea just isn't as unique or original anymore, even though it was to begin with, because it was yours and it was coming from your own personal life, so that's what gets to you. You're like, well, don't people have respect for other people's, like, yeah, and so, I don't know, to have people take your ideas seriously, well, they clearly do, but you can't, like, expect to just, like, take from people without giving back, People have to live, people have to, have a career, and that starts with being given due credit, So I feel like talking to someone, if this is talking to you and you're someone who does that, then good for you, because I think you get what you give. and that's noticed, and that, will come back. But yeah, karma's a bitch, and I just don't understand. I don't know. Isn't it their job to come up with new ideas? Like, why, especially if you're a creative agency or something like that, like, that's your skill set. That's what you're supposed to do, is be creative and be able to come up with ideas that are not taken from others. Or at least further develop. I don't know. It's just like, it's always a thin line. It's always tricky. It's always hard to say exactly. Because, yeah, there is something to be said about, like, developing something further, but how you do that and how you go about it and asking permission, things like that, those are all important factors, too, and to not dismiss or insult the person whose idea you stole. I mean, that's I feel like, common decency, but yeah, just giving people a chance, too, like, don't undermine them, don't sell off their ideas, don't implement them before they even have a chance to put them into motion, that kind of thing. Just have respect for others as you would want them to have respect for you and your ideas. So, yeah. Anyways, maybe I'll pull one more song and then we'll be done, because this is already pretty long. Coat of Many Colors, Dolly Parton. Saturday Night Fever, Staying Alive. The Spirit Cries. Oops. Tracy Chapman. Yeah, that Fast Cars. I haven't heard that song in a while. I'll put that below too. Messiah. George Frederick Handel. Dancing in the Street. The Bedlam and Goliath, Mars Volta. The Viking of 6th Avenue. That's funny. Moondog. Bandwagon, Jason Moran. Well, these are good. They're good references. Viking of 6th Avenue. Viking, I think of Norse mythology. I mean, Norse runes are Norse divination. So, see if I can put those below. And check out those links if you have time. And hopefully they'll be inspiring you or bring you somewhere new. And I hope that you have a great end of June and find yourself being very inspired, creative, and pulling things together and moving ahead, starting new, starting fresh with whatever it is you're doing. So I hope this was helpful. I hope you enjoyed the reading. Thanks for joining me, liking, sharing, subscribing, all that, and have a good end of the month. Bye.